start with today's class. So over here, you can see a question, display the size of a file after removing EOL characters, leading and trailing white spaces and blank lines. So now we will be writing a program which will be showing the total number of characters. First of all, we will write a program which will display the total number of characters which are there in a file. So let's go to the folder where we have saved all of them. So this is the file about text file. So it's a simple text file which I had created earlier. Right now it is going to count the total number of characters including all printable and non-printable characters, that is all these the white space characters, the new line characters, okay, and all the other characters which you see in this file. And later on what we are going to do is we are going to display only the displayed characters, that is the printable characters. We will remove all the leading and trailing spaces and the new line characters. We will remove all that and we will display the actual size of the file, right? So let's do this. So I'm going to make the changes in this program itself, that is all file operations, and that is itself opened over here. I've just given a block comment, that is to display the size of a file after removing EOL characters, leading and trailing white spaces and blank line. But we start with displaying the overall size of the file. That is a size including all the characters, right? What is the first step? Create the file object, open function. Name of the file is already there, about text files. So you can, if you click again, it brings it into the rename mode. Right click, copy. It is a text file. .txt will be the extension. And which mode? Students, tell me. Which mode will I use over here? Read the question and tell me.
Characters.
Yes, very good. This program is going to first of all read the file content. In order to count the number of characters, it has to read the file content. So our file mode is going to be read mode. Now, we have to display the number of leading and trailing spaces as well as blank lines. We have to display the overall size of the file first. This block comment displays the actual program which we need to do, but this single line comment shows what we are doing currently, that is right now. For counting it, I am just allocating a variable cnt which is going to count the total size, or I can also simply take size which is going to count all the number of characters here. Now there are a number of ways. I can either read everything or I can read line by line. So I'll be starting with reading everything line by line. And so for that purpose, I'm again assigning a variable. I'm creating a string object content. Okay. While content is still containing not null values, read data from the file line by line. So my file dot read line will be called, and I'm not calling I'm not passing any argument because I want to read that complete line. Now content is what? It is one single line. Okay. So instead of writing content, let me give the variable name as line so that it would be clear to you what we are actually reading. We are reading one line at a time. Okay, so we read one line and it was saved. It is saved in the variable called line. Now I am going to count the number of values. So what I am going to do is, line is already there. I am going to count the number of characters within line. So first I am going to write size equals size plus, maybe I can write len size, but len size is not going to count all the characters. So let me do it the long way. For ch inline. And now I'm going to write size plus equals to 1. That is for every character in line, increment the value of size by 1. Come out of this and print. overall size is what size? Let us run the program and we can see the overall size right now is what? 157, which includes all the blank spaces, everything. Now what I want to do is I want to print, this is the overall size. So let me give it the name as O size, and one more value, actual size, A size, that will also be 0. So for this assignment, I can simply write it this way. O size equals A size equals 0. So this is O size, okay, and for every character in the line without the trailing spaces, for ch in line dot strip. So I'm going to use the strip function over here, A size plus equals to 1. Now students, you can follow any way, you can even make a shorter program than this. This is just to explain, this is just demonstration, right? Fine. So this was the overall size and I have to name it as O size, whereas if I print the actual size, it will be A size. Okay, let us run the program and now you can see a difference. Overall size is 157, whereas actual size is 154. 3 characters less than the overall size. Why do you think this happened? Let us take a look over here. Okay. Now, if you take a closer look at this file, there are 4 new line characters here. That is EOL characters, and here we have the EOF character, right? So there are 3 extra characters which are being displayed in the overall size. So overall size is what? 157, whereas actual size is 153. Sorry, not 153, it's 154, which is 3 characters less than the original size, which means that in the next half of the program, in this part of the program, what I did was I stripped the line of any leading or trailing spaces or new line characters. I hope this program is clear to everybody. So the first loop, this particular loop is counting all characters, and this loop is counting only the printable characters. So this is the program which shows you the difference. That is, when you read something from the program, when you read something from the file, it also reads the leading or trailing spaces as well as the end of line character. So this new line character which I have typed over here, this is your EOL character. This concept should be very much clear because all this is taking place internally in the program. Okay, and hence a programmer has to always imagine what is happening, right? So this is a memory map which we are drawing over here. So it's very important that you don't just start writing the program on a whim. Okay, you first work it out in the copy. First you figure out where is the EOL character, whether this EOL character will be stripped or not, which function will be used to strip it. Okay, if I don't want to display any blank line after each line, what do I need to do? So all these things you have to work out. Understood? That's why. I hope this was clear to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. I'm also going to paste this. Right. Now let's do some programs here. Read a file line by line, we have already done. Read the complete file in a list. Now this is what we are going to do, that is read the complete file in a list. And for this program, we are going to use the read lines function. So we are now going to move on to read lines functions. What is the name? Read lines. Previously we had seen read line, which by the name itself it was clear that it was used to read only one single line. But read lines function is used for doing what? It is used for, first of all, read all the lines in the file. That is, read the entire file content and save the content, save the lines as string objects within a list. That is a list of strings. List of string where every string is actually a line in the file. A line in file. Okay, every string within the list. So it would be like this. You have an outer list and you have an inner string. So each of the string objects which you see over here, they are individual lines in the file. The first line, second line, third line, fourth line. Got it? If I just write the index value 0, 1, 2 and 3, because it is a list, hence all the elements will be indexed or subscripted from 0, right? So this is it. Read lines function actually reads the entire content of the file and saves all the lines within the file in the form of a list of strings. So this you need to remember. So let's do this. So how to do this? So my file, now I'm going to change the name of this file object. I'm going to name it as filein because I'm going to do read operation, and read operation is many times referred to as input operation. So I'm just giving a name to it, that is filein. You can give file read also, okay, file fin also, fin also, fread also. So anything, whatever user defined name you want to set for this, you can do it. Equals open name of the file. So again, I'll be going to my folder and just copying the name of the file. It is a very good habit to copy the name because that way the chances of making errors in copying the name of the file is also reduced. Right? So this is it. We created the file object. Now read lines function. So for this, I am going to first type here content equals filein dot read lines. That's all. Entire file is read in one go and saved in content. Now if you want to just print the content, we will just print content and see what it prints. So what do you see over here? Tell me. What is this that you see?
Ma'am, it is a list of strings.
It is a list of strings, and you can see this is the first one, then 0, 1, 2 and 3. And you can see a new line character /n character after each string, at the end of each string, except the last string. Because last string, that is the last line of the file and it will have an end of file character. So your EOL character is there at the end of all the lines except the last line. Got it? So this is what is being printed. Now how can I print it in the proper way? So instead of this print content, I am going to write for line in content. Print what line? And let me print it. It's going to add that new line character. Remember, one change of line. First change of line is because of the default value of end argument, which is what? /n/r. That is new line. And second new line, the another change of line which creates this blank line is due to this /n character which is at the end of the line. Got it? So in order to remove that, what do I do? I will simply write print line dot r strip. or strip. Now when you do it, you can see that it prints all the lines without that extra blank line. Is this clear to everyone? It should be clear to all of you, right? This is what read lines function, which reads all the lines of the file in the form of a list of strings. Write a program to display the size of a file in bytes. What should I do for this program? Can anybody tell me? If I have to display the size of a program, size of a file in bytes, what do I do? It's simple. We already displayed everything in the form of characters. Okay, you know that a text file, it stores everything in the form of characters. Every character occupies 1 byte. So where we saw 157 characters, it is actually 157 bytes. Understood? So this question is just a bit twisted. Otherwise, it's the same. Next question, write a program to display number of lines in the file. What to do for this question? Any ideas, anybody? How will I do it? Write a program. Yes.
By counting length of the list.
Counting length of the list, that is one way. There are multiple ways. Now we can read the entire content of the file without using any of the read functions also. Okay, we can read the entire content using read function, and the best way is to count the number of lines. So it is very simple. In the same program itself, we are simply going to, if we just print the length of the string. So print number of lines in the file, which will be equal to len content. How many lines? 4 lines. So very easy. We can simply print the length of the file using the len function on content. Write a program to ask for student's name and write them to a disk. Okay, so now we are coming to writing. So let us, before going to writing, there is a very interesting program over here. Let us do that. These type of questions, they come in your exam as 2-mark or 3-mark questions. So please do them. And last year, in the sample question paper, if you have seen it, most of the questions are based on your file handling questions. Now let us read and do this question. Write a function in Python to count and display the number of lines starting with character A present in a text file named lines.txt. So the name of the text file will also be given to you. Example, the file lines.txt contains the following lines. So this content is also given to you. That is, you have to assume that the file is already created. Function should display output as 3. 1, 2, and 3. That is, you just have to count the lines starting with the letter A. Okay. So how are you going to do this? So first of all, we are going to open the file. We are going to create the file, right? So what I have done is, to save time, I have already typed these lines over here. So I'm just going to copy these lines, come back to my folder, because in order to do this program, it is important that the folder is already there. The file is already there. So I'm going to right click, go to new text, and the name of the file is lines. So I'll simply type lines, not .txt, because extension is already taken over here, right? It will be .txt only. So you just have to name the file. Double click, paste the content, save it, right? It's done. Make sure there are no other lines. Means if you want to check that your cursor which is blinking here, it should not go to the next line. So while you are at the end of this full stop, just press delete a few times. This will remove any lines, this would remove any blank lines after the end of the file. Save your file and close it, right? Now we come back to our program. So first of all, I'm going to open the file. So let me take a small name, that is fin. Fin equals open. Name of my file is lines.txt. Make sure that you type .txt, that is extension, in small letters only. Although typing it in capital letters is not wrong, but usually it is a good programming practice to type all the extension in small letters. Now again, which file mode? Students, read the question and tell me the file mode. Except RN, anybody can answer. Hurry up. Very simple question. Try out.
Ma'am, read function.
Read mode.
Read. Give me the reason why read mode.
Ma'am, because we just have to count the number of lines.
We just have to count the number of lines. So that means we are doing which operation? Read operation, right? So R,
Yes, ma'am.
and this is done. Good. Content equals, now what I need to do, I need to count the number of lines starting with alphabet A. So I will be using fin.readLines function. I've used the readLine functions, right? For line in content. So the line is going to access each line from the list of strings. Now each string, now everybody look over here. This, I'm going to copy the lines of the file from here. Now these are the lines within the file. So over here, each of these lines is a string which is contained in an outer list. Could be something like this, right? So while you are writing for lines in content, so lines means at a time line is going to point to one single line over here. Like firstly, line will be containing what? It will be picking up the first string from the list. A boy is playing there. Now, how will you check whether it starts with capital A or not? Somebody else will give me this logic. Divya Jyoti Rao.
Yes, ma'am.
How will I check whether this line starts with capital A or not? A hint for you all, string slicing, string indexing. Line is a string, right? It is a list item and the list items here are string objects. So line is what? It is a string object. If I write if line 0, that is the very first character of the line, is it a capital A or a small a? It should start with an A. Here they have provided capital A, so you can leave it at that also. And you can also make sure that any small a, that is also covered. So you can write it this way. If the first letter starts with a capital A or a small a, it means this has to be counted. So counted means I can write x plus equals to 1. X will be assigned as 0, which will be the number of lines starting with capital A. So let's do this question here. First of all, I'm going to write here the line starting with A. So I'm assigning that value as X and I'm writing if you can also write alternatively if line 0 in capital A comma small a. So X plus equals to 1. Of lines starting with capital A or small a is what? Run the program. Okay. No such file or directory. So I will have to check where I have saved it. So let me just check it. Yes, it is saved in the same, but I think the name of the file is wrong. Can you see what is the error in this? You can see the
There
name
is a
of the
space
file.
between extension.
No, name of the file is line.txt here. And what is the actual name? Lines.txt. Where I have saved it, you can see that if you make changes in the
Okay,
name
ma'am.
of the file, that also causes errors. So now I have changed the name, and now you can see what is the output which we are getting. 3, because there are 3 lines which are starting with capital A. First, third, and fourth line. Understood that? Is it clear to everybody? Such type of
Yes,
questions
ma'am.
you will get it. Let us do another type. Write a program that reads characters from the keyboard one by one. All lowercase characters get stored inside the file lower. All uppercase characters get stored inside the file upper, and all other characters get stored inside file others. Students, we are not going to do this because this involves writing to a file. So writing we will be seeing once we complete reading from the file. So we are skipping this program because it involves reading as well as writing. Okay, not reading from the keyboard only, but basically it involves writing. So we can always, I can change this question like count the number of lowercase letters, count the number of uppercase letters, and count all the other types of letters. So I'm just changing the question a little bit here. First, let me copy this. So we are going to make some changes in this question here. This question will be like this. Write a program to count the number of uppercase, lowercase letters and other letters. Okay, so you have to just count those letters. How are we going to do that? So firstly, I'm going to start with, suppose I have opened the file, okay, and I have a file object whose name is fin. Fine. So now this fin file object is going to be used to count the number of letters. So for uppercase, I'm taking U. For lowercase, I'm taking L. For other letters, I'm taking O, and I'm assigning 0 to all three of them. Alternatively, you can also write U equals L equals O equals 0. Either one of the two you can write. Now, I can use any file, any function over here. Right now, what function I'm going to use? I'm going to use the read function because I do not need to count the number of lines here. I will be considering the entire file content and just I will be counting the characters, right? So I am using the read function here. So read function is called and everything is stored in the content object, right? Content object here is a complete string object, which contains a huge string containing all the characters written within the file. Now, for th, that is character in content, what am I going to write over here? Complete this code right now. Complete the code and pass and post the answers over here in the Microsoft Teams chat box. You can also WhatsApp it to me, students. Yes, students. What should we write? Look at this and tell me quickly.
Ma'am, we will use the function is lower and is upper.
Yes, very good. If ch dot is upper, that means it is an uppercase. So u plus equal to 1. If ch dot is lower, that means L plus equals to 1, and else will include all the other characters, right? So others plus equals to 1. And finally at the end, that is over here, note the indentation, students. You can print all of them. You can print uppercase letters, you can print letters, you can print the other letters, number of those. Okay, so this program, now that I have given you the main logic, you are going to code this program on your own, right? Please just let me know about it. Okay, so what we were about to discuss was we were going to write that program for counting the number of to and the words in a file. And the name of our file is, we already have that file over here, and that file is article.txt. So I'm just going to create the file handle. So I'm typing my file equals open article.txt, and we are going to open it in the read mode because we are going to count the number of words. So what is going to be our next statement? So I'm going to read everything line by line. So I'm taking a variable line, and to and the equals 0. While line still contains valid values, line equals my file dot read line. For now, line is what? It is a single line and it is a string. So as we had discussed, we are going to convert this into a list. So words equals line dot split. It will split it based on space. For word in words, just note the difference. Okay, one is singular, other one is plural. So two different variables. If word is, I'm simply writing, if word dot lower, I'm converting it into lowercase. If it is equals to 2, then 2 plus equals to 1. If word dot lower is equals to the, then the plus equals to 1. And finally, we print the values. Number of two words is 2. Number of the words is the. And you can see the number of two words is 6. Number of the words is 8. If you want, you can verify this also. You can create a program, and we'll do it here itself. I'm going to open it. Let's count how many two words are there. 6 two words are there. So just count and tell me, do you find 6 two words? How many words do we see? So here we have 1, 2, then okay, so I'm just reading everything and trying to figure out where do I get these words. Does it make 6 words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more 2 word I'm missing somewhere. Yes, this one. So this makes 6 two words. I am totally clueless over here whether you are able to understand or not. Anyways, let's move on to the next. We are going to start with the write function now. So for writing to a file, we have two functions. One is write and one is write lines. Two functions are there, one is write and one is write lines. Now, how does the write function work? Write function takes up one argument, which is a string object. And this string object contains your file content. So whatever you want to write to the file, you store everything in a single string object and you send it as an argument to this function. So everything will be written to the file. How it works, let us see this with the help of an example. So now we are going to create a file, right? So I'm just going to name my file object as fout. That is for performing an output operation. Usually write or append operations are known as output operations, right? So I'm giving the name as fout. So open, and now let me create a file of my own because I'm going to write something to it. So I'm naming the file as samplefile.txt. And what should I take as the file mode? W, because we are going to write something to the file. Remember, when you have opened the file in the read mode, you cannot perform write operation. And when you have opened the file in the write mode, you cannot perform read operation. It is one way. Only when you use any of the file modes like R plus, W plus or A plus, only in that case you can do both read and write operations simultaneously, which we will be seeing later. Okay. So now we have opened the file. Now I'm just going to create a string object, like I'm just naming the string object as content, and let me paste some text over here. So let me take the text from the same file content which I had created earlier. So I'm just going to copy the same text and I'm going to paste it here. And because it's a multi-line text, so that's why I'm going to enclose it within triple single quote, triple double quotes or triple single quotes. At the end of every line, automatically it is going to insert a new line character. Got it? If you don't want it this way, if you simply want it as a single line string, you can simply use a single quote or a double quote. I suggest you use double quotes because many a times in files you might also, if there is any kind of a conversation, there could be double quotes or single quotes at least in your file. So in your file content, so use double quotes interchangeably over there. So first let us see it with the help of a single line file, and then we will move on to multi-line content. Now all we have to do is fout.write content. That's all. And finally, here close is very important because only when you close the file, normally Python automatically calls the close function using the file object at the end of the program if you have not written it. But if suppose you are writing a lengthy program where a lot of work has to be done, file needs to be opened and closed multiple times, it is good programming practice that you write close every time, because if you write close, you are making sure that whatever changes are made to the file object, they are made to the file, to the disk file itself. So I'm going to save it. Is the screen visible, students? Are you able to follow everything on the screen, or does it keep freezing? Because the previous class I found it very difficult to manage. I hope it is okay. One thumbs up I got from Shlok. Fine. So I assume that everything is all right. Okay. So now I'm going to run the program using F5. Now in the output, you won't see anything. Program runs, it has done its work. You can just provide a message after this close that file content written successfully or file created successfully, just for the user to understand that work has been done. Let's see whether that file is there or not. So let's find, yes, I can see the sample file over here. If I double click it, you can see whatever data we had supplied, it is written into the file. But Everything is written in one continuous line. If I go to format and disable word wrap, you can see everything is in the form of a single line in the file, right? How can I change the line? So for changing the line, I have to make changes in this. Alternatively, I can include a /n after the full stop. It will automatically include a /n character. I am going to run the program once again, and now let's check. Now you can see that the lines have been changed. Why? Because I had provided /n character. So wherever it found a /n character, it inserted end of line character in the file. And you also saw something that the previous content, which was everything was written on a single line, it has been removed. Another, if you want a proof of that, let us replace this content by something else. So what should we replace it with? Let me get some text from somewhere, maybe an English book or something. I'll just copy a few lines from here. So I'm just copying this paragraph over and I'm going to paste it here. So I'm just opening a double quotes, pasting everything, and see now everything is in the form of a separate line. So if I want, I can also do it in the form of that. Triple single quotes, type everything, close the triple single. This way, wherever your text ends, you can see that this line ends over there. So new line character is automatically inserted wherever you have inserted a line break. जहाँ जहाँ line change किया है, वहाँ insert हो जाएगा. Can anybody tell me the total number of new line characters in this particular string object? How? Very good, Shlok. It will have 4 new line characters. That is, new line character will be inserted after each line except the last line. Got it? This answer we had already discussed in the previous class. Okay, so now we are going to run the program once again. Again, you see there is no output. We will go back and check the answer. Okay, so I need to go to the file handling folder, and I'm double clicking, and you can now see that the previous content has been removed. It has been replaced by the new content. Why? Because we have used the write mode in the file. W mode is there. Okay. If I just change this mode to A, that is append mode, and now I'm going to copy another paragraph. I'm going to copy this second paragraph now, and I am going to replace this. Okay, so now we have this content, and let me run the program, and let's go back to sample file. I'm closing that, and let's double click, and now you can see, what do you see here? You can see that this was the last line, weekly magazines and the post, and immediately after that the next paragraph is also pasted. Got it? So it shows that append mode, it adds on to the previous content of the file. The previous content is not removed from the file. Got it? So this is your write function. The write function which is used to write content to your file. Okay. Now what we are going to see is the write lines function. Now what is the write lines function used to do? So write line function, it's not write line, it is write lines function. It takes a list object as an argument. This list object is a list of strings. Just like when you use the read lines function, that is used to read the content of the file in the form of a list of strings, where every string represents one line within the file. Here, write lines is used to write a list of string objects to the file. So what you do is first you create that list and then you write everything in the file together. So let's write a program for this. I'm removing everything. So the program is going to be that I'm going to read a few lines and I'm going to save them in a list. Okay, and I'm going to write them to a file. So let's start. F out equals, I'm writing open, and let me name my file as sample file only. I'll make changes there only. Sample file.txt and write mode. Okay, and now I'm going to ask for I'm going to run a loop where I'm going to ask for some random strings from the user. Okay, so for that, let me write here. I'm going to use ANS, that same thing, and a string as my string object. Okay, so let me just a second, students. ANS is equals to Y. First, I'm going to ask for a string from the user. So let me ask for a line from the user. Input, enter a string. So user will enter a string and it will get saved in line. Now what I need to do is I need to add it to a list. So I'm going to create a list object here. Content. This content is a list which will contain the list, okay, which we have to send to the file. So now this we'll write content dot append what line. So this line which I read from the user, it will be appended to this list. Fine. And I will ask whether user wants to continue. Yes or no. And depending on that, the loop will terminate. Okay. So once this is done, now content is what? It is a complete list of strings. So how am I going to write it? I'm going to simply write it this way. F out dot write lines what content, which is my list of strings. Okay, and F out dot close. Let us run the program. It's asking for entering a string. So let me enter a string, like I'm going to take strings from the same file over here. This is my first string. Continue. Yes. Let me get another string. Because here I need to, this is my second string. Want to continue? Yes. And next one. I'm taking each line at a time, students. Okay. And now I'm going to press N. Okay, there is some problem over here. I use the spelling is wrong. It has to be right lines. Again, I have to run the program. So let's do this once again. Let me just copy each line. Continue. Yes. See, one single spelling. If the spelling is wrong, function won't execute. And the last one. And continue. So no output as such. Let's go back to our file. Okay. And you can see that everything is written over here, but there is no new line character. So how do we insert a new line character? I guess we need to append the new line character at the end of every line. So like this line is there. So what you can do is simply you can write line equals line plus end of line character. Let's run the program and let's enter some random names. Okay. So, or maybe I'll copy these again. This will take a while because we are working on file handling, students. This is the second line, your third line, and the fourth line. No. And let's go back to our file. And now you can see I have not enabled word wrap, but all my lines are on the separate line. So in this case, it doesn't automatically take up the new line character. Rather, you have to append, you have to add this new line character to the string object. What I did was simply I read the line, took the input from the user, and at the end I just added a new line character, appended that line to the list known as content. Okay, so a quick dry run of this code. So firstly, I just initialized a variable which was a list object. So initially this list object was empty. No, dear, docx file you cannot use, because this Python program, through a Python program, you can handle it with simple text files. For creating a docx file, you might have to use some other library, some other module, which will help you to connect with the MS Word application, because their docx files are actually documents or files relative to your application, which is known as MS Word, right? And right now the Python program which you are writing, that is the application for handling these text files. Although we have Notepad, but it is a simple text file, so you can create it with this. Docx file you can work only when you work with rich text files, right? So that will come a little later. Okay, so right now you have this content which is an empty list. Then after this, what you do is you ask from the user a line. So user enters something in a line. It is a string, okay? And what you do is, now this string is without any new line character. So when you added, you said line equals line plus new line character. So you did a concatenation operation here. You concatenated the new line character with the string. Okay, so now what happens? Your line, it contains a new line character at the end, and then this you added to content using content dot append line. So now content contains what? It contains this line of string. Likewise, you run the program as many times and as many lines will be added to your content, which is the list. And then finally, this write lines function, it takes this content as the argument, which is the list of strings, and it writes everything at a time to the list file. Is that clear? Next question is, now that we have done both, now let's solve some questions. Create a file to hold data of n students of your class separated by lines name only. So now your program is this. Now what you have to do in this program, you have to hold the data of n students of your class separated by lines. That is, every student's name will appear on a separate line. So how will I do it? So I'm going to first create a file. Can anybody give me the name of the file?
Study book.
study book. Okay, I am taking this name study book, and what should be my file mode here? Currently I am taking write, W as the file mode, that is write mode. Okay, we have to ask for n students of the class. So let me first ask for the value of n. I ask how many students? N students, and now we will be asking for the data of n students. So separated by lines. So what I'm going to do is over here, I'm going to first create a list object which will contain student list. This is a list object which is created now. For I in range n, ask for the name, s name equals input, enter the name of student, and I'll also make it like this, enter the name of student I plus 1. These are ways in which you can improve your output, right? Now student, okay, s name, it has to be separated by name. So s name equals s name plus slash n character, that is new line character. And after this, I'm going to write student list dot append s name. Okay, so it will be appended to this, and finally we come out of it, and we are simply going to write this f out dot write lines dot student list and f out dot close. Let's run the program. How many students? Let us enter 5 students. Okay, I have some. What's the issue? Okay, input I cannot write it like this. So I'm going to create a string named prompt, and I'm going to copy that. See, for creating the string, you have to use the concatenation operator. And since I plus 1 is a numerical value, an integer value, you have to convert it into string. Everything has, because this prompt, whatever is inside input, it accepts only strings. Okay, how many students? 5 students. Enter the name of student 1. So I gave the name Diksha. So I just gave 5 names, and now let us go back to our folder, and this is the study book file, and you can see all the names are there separated by a new line character. What I did was, first thing, open the file, okay, using the file mode W. Okay, now my question is, if I want to make sure that next time when I run the program, it should add to the list of students instead of replacing all the previous students, what should I do for that? I have to make sure that next time when I run the program, it will not replace the previous content, rather it will simply add on to the previous content. What will I do for that? Yes, Dhruv Chaudhary, very good. Let me see how many gave the answer. Very good. Dhruv and Shlok, they are the only 2 students in the class, I think. So append. I have given the append mode, and let's run the program once again. How many students? I want to add 3 more students to the list. Okay, and let's check it on the file, and you can see that the 3 names which I added later on, they were added to the previous names. The previous names are not deleted. Understood it? Okay. So this was write function and write lines function. Let us see some other questions. And write lines function. Let us see some other questions. If I have to write the same thing using write function, how am I going to do that? The same question I have to, instead of using the write lines function, I want to use the write function. So how will I do that? Any ideas, anyone? I have to use the write function only. So for using the write function, let's do it this way. Instead of creating a list, I will be creating a prompt. Yes, that is okay. Creating the name. And instead of this statement, I will write fout.write sname. Got it? And move this. I don't need the write lines function here. Okay. Now I'm going to run the program once again. Let me add 5 more students. I added more names and let me go back. And you can see all those names are added over here because already the file is in the append mode. So students, this is one of the most important characteristics of, or you can say advantages of having files, because you can store records on a daily basis in a file, and then later on you can make the program read the records from the file and do some processing on the file. So data stays there in the hard disk, it doesn't disappear, right? I'm going to do this and I'm going to paste it over. Next question, let's take up another question. Write a program to get roll numbers, names, and marks of the students of a class and store these details in a file called marks.dat. You can get such type of questions, students. Read the question very carefully. So, some time to read it. You have to read what? Roll numbers, names, marks of the students of a class. That is, you have to read it from the user and store these details in the file named marks.dat. That is, name of the file is also given to you. So how do you plan to create this file? The same program. Okay, I'll keep the program opened in front of you. What is the first step we are going to do? Open the file. Okay, and what is the name of the file? Marks.dat. Dat stands for data file. So it's one and the same thing. If you are using text file or data file, it will work the same. And what will be the output? I'm keeping it as A because I would like to add on to the names. Now get roll number, names and marks of the student from the class. Okay, and you have to also make sure that the roll number, names and marks are stored in this manner. Suppose roll number is 1, comma, name of the student, comma, marks. Okay, so 1, comma, so this is how I want the data to be stored on every line, right? So already I'm going to just discuss the logic over here. You created the file object, name of the file object is fout. Okay. Now you want to ask for the names. You can do it in 2 ways. Either you use this method, that is keep on asking the data from the user till the user wants, or you can also beforehand ask the number of records user wants to enter, use a for loop, and now what you do is whatever loop you are using, okay, within that loop you are going to ask for these values. So firstly you are going to ask for roll number, right? You are going to ask for sname by using simple input function, okay, and you are going to ask for marks. So 3 things are asked from the user. Ask from user. And then what you are going to do over here? These 3 things, you are going to create a record. You are going to create a string object known as record, where you are going to append all these 3. How? Roll number is a numeric value, right? This is character, that is the string, and this is a float value. So you need to convert these two. So for that you will write str roll number plus s name, because s name is already str, and str marks. Marks and roll number are numeric values, so you need to convert them into string, and at the end you will append a new line character. So this makes up your record. Now what you can do, fout dot write dot record. Fine. This will write this record. At the end, you are simply going to close the file using fout.close, and you will run it and see whether it is accepting the data or not. With this, I'm going to end today's class.